Hi boys and girls, welcome back to our math workshop. Today we are going to continue with our adding and subtracting three-digit numbers unit. So up until now we've spent a lot of time practicing adding with three-digit numbers. Today we're going to start practicing subtracting. So what I would like for you to do before you watch this video is to get your materials ready so that you can do an example with me before you work on your own. The materials that you're going to need for this lesson are your 0 through 9 cards that we've been using throughout the unit, a blank piece of paper and something to write with, and you're going to make yourself some new cards. So in the first half of the unit, you might remember we made plus 10 and plus 100 cards. Now we're making minus 100 and minus 10 cards. I made these ones a little bit smaller than I did for the addition part of the unit just to save a little paper. But you need 4 or 5 of each. 4 or 5 hundreds and 4 or 5 tens. Remember, this time we're going to be subtracting, so make sure they say minus on them. Now plus. All right, get your materials ready, and then we'll get started. To fold your paper, you're going to fold it the same way that we did last time. First, you're going to fold it in half this way. Then you're going to fold it in half again. It's okay if it's not perfect. We're just making our spaces to write in. Then you're going to fold it in half one more time. So now you should have 8 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 boxes to write in. As long as you have 8 boxes to write in, you are good to go. Once you get your papers all ready, we're going to get started. So do that first. Today's lesson, we're going to focus on subtracting. And when you're subtracting three-digit numbers, it's important to remember that hundreds go with hundreds, tens go with tens, and ones go with ones. We're also going to talk about how sometimes you have to decompose a 100 or a 10 to make tens or ones. Sometimes you take a 100, you decompose it back into tens. How many tens are there in 100 again? There are 10 tens in 100. And there are also 10 ones in a 10. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So your folded paper should look something like this. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to split those boxes in half. We're going to use these boxes just like we did when we were adding. So on one side we're going to draw blocks, on the other side we're going to write numbers. Okay, so right now I want you to start in your first box and I want you to write down what I'm writing down so that you have an example, okay? So just like last time, remember you're mixing up the cards.
You're mixing it up and you're pulling 3 cards.
Okay, so I pulled 517. 5 hundreds, 1 10, and 7 ones. So I'm going to write that up here. And then I'm going to write it in expanded form. Remember, expanded form is when we stretch out the numbers. Now, even though we're doing subtraction today, remember expanded form is always with addition signs because it's representing this number. 500 plus 10 plus 7 is 517. So even though we're subtracting today, these plus signs will always be there. Okay, so the next thing that you're gonna do, you're gonna mix up these cards. These are my my minus 100 and my minus 10 cards, and you're gonna pull one. So I pulled a minus 10. So before I start working with my minus 10, I wanna draw my blocks, my original blocks. We have 500s, we have 110, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ones. So now I'm taking away 10. Okay. So what you're going to do is, you can use a different color if you want, or just leave it in the same color, whatever you want to do. You're going to go back over here and you're just going to kind of scribble out your answer. Okay? So you're just kind of going to cross out whatever we're taking away here, right? We're taking away 10, so I squiggled out 110. Make sure when you squiggle it out that I can still kind of see it, just so that you're showing that you subtracted either the 10 or the 100. All right, so now let's see what I've got left. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. Okay. No 10s, so for that no 10s, I'm gonna put a 0. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Our ones are staying the same. So 517 minus 10 equals 507. You see how we took away that 110? Okay, let's do another one. I want you to write this one down with me as well, and we're gonna practice. So as you continue working, to challenge yourself, I would like for you to try pulling more than one change card. More than one change card. So these little minus 10s and minus 100s represent change. If you're feeling like you want to make a really tricky problem, you could try pulling 3 cards. If you want to just give yourself a small challenge, you can try pulling 2 cards. So I'm going to show you a little demonstration of how that might work and how you'll show your work and how to decompose when you need to. Okay? So I'm going to mix these cards back in. And I'm gonna pull cards a little more specific so that I can give you a good example. Okay, so let's say I pulled this number 325 and I wanna do 3 change cards. Okay, 325 minus 10, minus 10, minus 10. So I'm gonna write this number here, and then I'm gonna write it in expanded form. I'm subtracting 10s again, so remember I'm gonna subtract 10, or instead of writing minus 10, minus 10, minus 10, you could write minus 10, 20, 30. Your choice. Okay, now I'm gonna draw my blocks. 325. Okay, 325. So I need to take away 3 10s. So I've got 1 10, 2 10s, but what do I do now? I don't have a third 10 to take away. This is when I would decompose 100. So I'm gonna show you how you could show me that you decomposed 100. So I'm gonna circle this and cross it out, and I'm gonna decompose it into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 10s. So now I've taken away 1 10, 2 10s, and I can take away a third 10. And now I can see what I'm left with. Let's count. 100, 200.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
9 10s, or 90. And my ones are gonna stay the same. So 325 minus 30 equals 295. As you're working today, I want you to practice some that are more simple like this, and some that are more challenging by pulling multiple change cards. Maybe you'll pull 1 10 and 1 100. Or maybe you'll want to pull 4 or 5 cards if you're really looking to give yourself a big challenge. The most important thing is that you're trying out different amounts of cards and that you're practicing decomposing. Remember, to decompose means to take apart 100 or a 10 to make either 10s or 1s. So when you decompose, you take this block that's put all together and you take it apart into individual 10s. Okay, boys and girls, you're gonna repeat this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more times on your sheet. When you finish your work, today you do not have to upload an example. You can upload a sample if you would like to, but you don't have to. What I do want you to do is to make sure that you comment on the assignment and tell me one of your equations, any one of your equations from your sheet. So you would say 517 minus 10 equals 507. But you're gonna do this with your own numbers, not with the numbers that I've already given you. So no attachment is necessary today, just one comment telling us one of your equations. All right, boys and girls, good luck. And remember, hundreds with hundreds, tens with tens, and ones with ones, whether we're adding or subtracting. Bye.